Hey YouTube followers, this week I've been so busy with live golf lessons that I haven't had a chance to make any videos, but I've had a few questions in regards to how we shift our weight or how we shift our pressure in our golf swings. So here I want to do a little analysis and compare golf again to baseball, and here's one of my favorite baseball swings of all time. Too bad he was a steroid user. He had an awesome swing, Barry Bonds. Now I want to show you kind of how a golf swing compares to a baseball swing and how pressure is moved back and forth from one foot to the other. Wasn't able to switch his swing to right-handed, so I switched mine to left so we can see the comparison. So let's move me up a little closer to the top of my backswing. Okay, you can see as I reach the top, I've got my lead heel just coming up off the ground. So obviously the majority of the pressure in my golf swing is in my trail foot. Now, here's Barry Bonds as he's getting ready to go. He's got his front foot in the air, so there's no pressure in that foot. And his hands are working back, so that's kind of the equivalent of the backswing. So his front foot's in the air, hands are working back. And his front foot is just about to land. His toe is on the ground right there. Now his foot is going down. So you can see as he's starting to put pressure into his front foot, you can see his belt buckle start to rotate and his hand, the handle of that bat, start to move forward. So his hands are moving away up until there's pressure into his lead foot. So that's part of athletic motion. It's really hard to start momentum toward the target until you have something to brace against. So you'll see the same idea here with my swing. My hands are moving away for the last few frames, and now you can see I've planted my heel down. So about the time I plant my heel down, you can see my belt buckle start to rotate and my hands start to move targetward. So you'll kind of see a similar launch position. So he's got his foot down and he's starting to launch. And you can see in a golf swing, you can see kind of the same position there. My trail elbow is kind of going under my lead arm and my pelvis is starting to rotate. And in order to do that, you've got to start to put pressure into the lead foot. So that's part of what is able to create the rotation, is as you begin to put pressure into the lead foot, you can begin to open up. Now, as the magnitude of the pressure increases, you're continuing to open. You don't move pressure over there without rotating. And you can see the more pressure I build, the more I'm rotating. And the same idea here with Barry. You can see as he swings, that pressure is getting stronger in that lead foot. And the way I can tell that is you watch what his head and his body's doing. As it keeps swinging, his head starts to push back. So the faster that bat goes, the more he's rotating, the more pressure he's putting into his lead foot, and he's backing up. And you'll see the exact same thing if you reference that tree in the background and watch what my head's doing. It's backing up. So as the club's coming down, I'm putting more and more pressure into the ground. And you can see some pretty good similarities there between him at impact and my golf swing at impact. You know, the way you're using the ground, the way the spine and the lead leg are kind of almost lined up. You can really see it right there, how his front leg and his spine are basically making a line this way. And you can see as I go through this shot how it's kind of the same look. And then what's interesting here is you're pushing away and there's not a whole lot of pressure in the trail foot. Now you'll see his trail foot just went down. And now the pressure shifted back into his back foot. And that kind of same thing happens there with me. You can see pressure just went up in my back foot. So again, in order to create athletic motion, there's a nice load into the trail foot. So there's the load. And obviously all the pressure's in that trail foot because the lead one's off the ground. And then the pressure shifts, but you can see his weight's really not moving very much. He hasn't moved, his head's not moving forward, his torso's not moving forward. And you can see the same thing here with my golf swing. My head's not moving forward, my torso's not moving forward, but the pressure definitely moved up into that forward foot as I went into transition. And you can see the rotation starts right away as well. My hips start to rotate before my handle of my club starts to move down. And the hips don't really start to rotate until there's a start of pressure in the front foot, because it's really hard to turn with one foot dangling in the air. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the more pressure you can put into the ground, the more speed you can make. So that's why it's really important to have that transition move where you're sitting into the ground, so you're reflexing your legs so that you can really push off out of the ground and create. It's kind of like creating the popping of the towel. You have to be able to push away as the club comes down. That makes that club snap around, just like that. His baseball bat, you can really see as his baseball bat's going forward, he's pushing backward. And you can see the same thing happening there with that golf club. So I hope this helps.